Welcome. My name's John from ShineOn, and if you're watching this video, you've probably submitted a URL to the ShineOn platform and had it verified, and now you're ready to hop into Facebook and make sure you have that fully set up so that your pixel's firing everywhere it needs to fire and that your domain is fully verified. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is jump straight into how you do the domain verification settings in Facebook. So let's start with making sure your domain is verified inside of your Facebook Business Manager. The hope is you followed the steps earlier and added that text record into your DNS settings with your Facebook verification. If you haven't done that, I highly recommend you go back and look at those steps because that's how we're going to make sure your DNS is verified to that URL. So once you go into your Facebook Manager and you go into the actual business settings, and you'll find a brand safety section. Inside of that is domains. In here, you've probably already entered your domain because that's how you get that verification code. Now, if you go back to that step where it has the DNS verification code, down at the bottom is a verify button, and once you actually hit that, if your code is in the right spot, it's gonna go boom, you're all good, your domain is verified. And we've taken care of one of the first steps here. So that's perfect. So now let's jump into how do you make sure you get your events set up for this new URL. So once you're ready to test the pixel events for your new URL, what you're going to want to do is actually go into the ShineOn platform and take one of your existing products and attach it to the new URL if you haven't already. Once you've done that, you're going to want to go ahead and copy that full product URL. So it's going to have your custom domain / products with your current URL. Go ahead and copy that, and then we're going to jump right over into the Facebook Business Manager. Once you have that product URL, you're going to go ahead and enter the Facebook Business Manager and go ahead to your Events Manager. And you should be on the pixel that you're planning to use, and you should see your domain that you're planning to use in that Events Manager section. And what you'll see is over to the right in the tabs is a test event section, and we're going to go into there. Inside of there should be a spot where you can enter your URL, and it'll actually fire up and send you over there, and it'll actually start testing your test events. So go ahead and take that product URL, throw it in that section, and it'll go ahead and open a new window. Now, once you land on that page, you should go straight back to your event manager, and you should actually see a test event for a page view or a content view, and that's your first step. Now, what you're going to want to go ahead and do is walk yourself through all the steps that a normal customer would. You're viewing the product, go ahead and add that product to your cart. Go ahead and go to the cart. Go ahead and initiate checkout and get to almost the final spot. You don't actually have to check out, and that's where I have a little test code that you're going to use so that you can fake a checkout event. Now, as you're walking through all of this, you're going to want to jump back into your Events Manager and make sure it's actually tracking the events. And one of the big things is when you see that event, click on it and it'll open up and it should have your URL in there. If it says ShineOn, that's not going to work. You're going to want to see your actual URL for each event. Now, I'm going to provide a code for this video, and what that's going to allow you to do is actually fake a purchase event. Now, once you have gotten your three main events, which are your content view, your add to cart, and your initiate checkout, we want to fake the final event. So in order to do this, let's say you're in Chrome, you can right click and go to inspect, and it'll open a nice little window. Inside that window is a console tab. If you go to that console, down at the very bottom, you'll be able to enter the code that will be supplied with this video. If you enter that code and hit enter, nothing's going to change, but if you hop back over to your Events Manager, you will actually see the purchase event show up. And once you see that, you're in a really good spot. So once you've seen all of your events come through, you're actually going to need to take about a 20 to 30 minute break to allow Facebook to fully ingest these events and make them applicable for your pixel so that we can set up our aggravated events. So go find something to do for 30 minutes and then come back. If you've waited that 30 minutes, what you're going to want to do is go ahead back into your Facebook Business Manager and into that Events Manager and go ahead to that Overview tab. Now below that bar graph, you'll actually see an Aggravated Events Measurement tab. Probably say New next to it. Go ahead and click on that and you will see a Configure Web Events button. Once you enter the web event configuration window, you will see your domain listed there. You might even see a ShineOn domain listed there. But what you want to go ahead and do is click on your domain and then the Edit Events or Add Events button that you see there. Once that opens up, you will be able to select your pixel and then it'll give you any events that are available for that pixel. If your pixel is grayed out, it means you didn't wait long enough and those events that we did in the test environment haven't been made applicable for your pixel. So you're just going to need to wait longer. If you're able to select your pixel, the hope is it'll then pop up over on events and you'll be given the 4 events that we set up: view content, add to cart, initiate checkout, and purchase. You can go ahead and create an event for each one of these. Once you've created the 4, you're then able to order them slightly. And what you want to do is it'll show you up the top is highest priority, down at the bottom is lowest priority. Your highest priority is going to be purchase. Your next is initiate checkout, then add to cart, and then view content. So that's the way it should be ordered for your pixel. And then you can go ahead and save those settings. You have now set up all the events for your pixel, so you're gonna get the Apple iOS 14 tracking sent for your pixel, and you are all set and ready to go and start selling.